Imagine taking the WWF and combining it with the most popular fighting game at the time, Mortal Kombat. To me as a kid, this sounded like something that could never happen, but a dream came true as WWF WrestleMania the arcade game was released in 1995, and this game wasn't just another wrestling title, it was the electrifying fusion of both worlds with over-the-top moves, digitized graphics, and the wildest wrestling action you'd ever seen brought your favorite superstars to life in a way that was both jaw-dropping and unforgettable. So stick around as we uncover the magic behind the legendary game and reveal what made it a true game changer in the world of wrestling and arcade video games. In the mid-90s, wrestling was at its peak and arcade games were the hottest trend. The arcade era, which began in the late 70s, continued through the 90s, which was a golden age for video games. Arcades were social hubs where friends would gather to compete for high scores and bragging rights. Games like Pac-Man, Street Fighter, and Mortal Kombat dominated the scene, offering thrilling gameplay and colorful graphics that home consoles just couldn't match yet. Arcade games were more than just entertainment. They were a cultural phenomenon. They introduced many players to video games for the first time and became a significant part of the youth culture. The competitive nature of the arcade gaming scene, with players striving to beat each other's scores, fostered a sense of community and rivalry. Midway, the company behind WWF WrestleMania the arcade game, was already a major player in the industry. They had struck gold with Mortal Kombat, a game known for its digitized graphics and over-the-top violence. The success of Mortal Kombat demonstrated the potential realism character portrayals and set the stage for WWE's WrestleMania the arcade game development. At the same time, the WWF, now WWE, was experiencing a surge in popularity, with wrestlers like Bret Hart, The Undertaker, and Shawn Michaels becoming household names, and events like WrestleMania drawing a massive audience. The idea of combining an excitement of the WWF wrestling with Midway's high-energy action arcade game was a match made in heaven. Midway had an opportunity to create something that was truly unique that would capture the world of both WWF and the world of Mortal Kombat. What set WWF WrestleMania the arcade game apart was its fast-paced, over-the-top gameplay. Inspired by Mortal Kombat, this game featured digitized sprites of the WWF wrestlers and cartoonish, exaggerated moves. From Doink the Clown pulling out a mallet out of thin air to Razor Ramon's arm transforming into a blade, the game was filled with many memorable moments. The development of WWF WrestleMania the arcade game was an ambitious project that required a blend of creativity, technical expertise, and collaboration. Midway Games, known for the success with Mortal Kombat, teamed up with Sculptured Software to bring this unique wrestling game to life. The initial concept for the game was to create a wrestling experience that combined the larger-than-life personalities of the WWF with the fast-paced arcade action style that Midway's fighting games were known for. The goal was to capture the essence of the WWF's over-the-top entertainment while making it accessible and fun for both wrestling fans and any kid that went to the arcade. They wanted to create a game that was just not a wrestling simulation, but an action-packed arcade game that captured the excitement and spectacle of the WWF. They looked at what made Mortal Kombat a success and decided to infuse the same energy into WWF WrestleMania the arcade game. One of the standout features of the game were those digitized sprites that we talked about, a technique that involved capturing real-life footage from WWF wrestlers and converting them to in-game characters. This process required extensive collaboration with the WWF to get the wrestlers' likeness and movements just right. They brought in several WWF superstars to the studios, filmed them performing their signature moves and taunts. This footage was then painstakingly digitized and animated frame by frame. It was a labor-intense process, but it allowed for them to create characters that looked and moved like their real-life counterparts. To enhance the game's visual appeal, the developers' team employed a mix of traditional animation techniques and digital effects. This combination gave the game its distinct cartoonish style and set it apart from other wrestling games at the time. WWF WrestleMania the arcade game introduced several unique gameplay mechanics that made it stand out. The combo system, inspired by fighting games, allowed players to string together moves in a quick succession. This gave the game fast-paced arcade feel that was a departure from the more methodical pace of traditional wrestling games. They wanted to make the game accessible to a wide audience, so they designed the controls to be intuitive and easy to pick up. And at the same time, they wanted depth with the combo system, allowing skilled players to perform impressive moves and combos to master this game. Easy to pick up, but hard to master. Collaboration with the WWF would be crucial to this game's success. The development team worked closely with WWF executives and wrestlers to ensure that the game accurately reflected the brand's style and tone. The partnership allowed the game to feature authentic commentary, entrance themes, and signature moves that the fans loved. The WWF was very supportive throughout the process. They provided them with access to their talent, promotional materials, and behind-the-scenes insight that helped them create a game that felt true to the WWF experience. The character design in WWF WrestleMania the arcade game was one that stands out in its feature. Each wrestler is brought to life with its digitized sprites and exaggerated animations that emphasize their larger-than-life personalities. Let's take a closer look at the complete roster and what made each character special. Bret the Hitman Hart. Bret, known as the Hitman, was a technical wrestling genius. In the game, his character was designed to reflect his in-ring prowess, complete with his iconic pink and black attire, taunt, and sharpshooter finisher. Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels was known as the Heartbreak Kid, and he brought his charisma and athleticism to the game. His character design included signature entrance, flamboyant attire, and a moveset that showcased his high-flying abilities. The Undertaker. The Undertaker's character in the game captured his supernatural aura. From summoning tombstones to his chokeslam and tombstone piledriver, The Undertaker was definitely a force to be reckoned with in this game. Yokozuna. Yokozuna's massive size and strength were faithfully represented in this game. His character design included his traditional sumo attire and a move like the Banzai Drop, making him a formidable opponent. Bam Bam Bigelow was known for his agility and power, despite his size. In this game, his character was designed with his flame-adorned attire and his acrobatic moves, including his signature headbutt from the top rope. Lex Luger, the total package, was portrayed with his muscular physique and power-based moveset. His character included his signature torture rack and iconic flex taunt. Doink the Clown. One of the most fun to play in this game, Doink the Clown added his touch of humor to the game and clownish antics and unpredictable moves. His character design featured his colorful attire, mallet-wielding attacks, and a playful demeanor. Each character in WWF WrestleMania the arcade game had a unique animation and special moves that added to their individuality. From Bret Hart's sharpshooter to The Undertaker's tombstone summoning, the exaggerated animations brought an extra layer of fun and excitement to the gameplay. WWF WrestleMania the arcade game was released in 1995 by Midway, and it quickly became a sensation in the arcades across the globe. The game's unique blend of WWF's over-the-top wrestling and Mortal Kombat's digitized graphics made an intense action and an awesome arcade hit. Players were thrilled by the realistic character models and the wacky exaggerated moves that captured the essence of the WWF at the time. Reception was overwhelmingly positive. Replay reported it as the third most popular arcade game at the time. Critics praised its unmatched level of detail in the digitized characters, the game's humor, and the accessible controls. Players loved the fast-paced action and the ability to perform signature moves from their favorite WWF superstars. Today, WWF WrestleMania the arcade game is remembered as a classic, a product of its time. Its impact on the wrestling game genre and its innovation to use digitized graphics set a new standard for future games. While the graphics and gameplay may feel dated by today's standard, the game still holds up as a nostalgic trip for fans of the 90s. Its influence can be seen by many modern wrestling games, which continue to blend realistic character models with over-the-top action. Whether you're a wrestling fan or a retro game enthusiast, WWF WrestleMania the arcade game remains a beloved title that continues to be celebrated in the gaming community. Its legacy lives on, reminding us of the global age of arcade games and the unforgettable characters that made it so special. I urge you, if you've never checked out this game, go check it out and give it a play. Anyway, guys, that's where I'm going to leave you today. Let me know what you think about WWF WrestleMania the arcade game, good or bad, in the comment section below. And as always, I'm TonyPizzaGuy. We will see you in another video.